How are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm Melissa. I don't think we've met the practice manager for Dr. Olson's office and
Yeah,
his
I think
wife.
yeah, we met once
Yes, that's right. That's right. The
on the
one
kickoff
meeting.
call.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, it's
I
okay.
get
Don't,
confused by what I've watched in a recording and actual in person. Um, I want to
I
give you a
understand.
heads up that I might turn my mic and video off for a little bit. We have a 10-year-old that's going to school and it's 7 a.m. here. So I got to get her kind of situated, but I'll be listening and we'll, um, you know,
Okay.
be back
So is it
very
just
briefly.
is it me and you today? Is
Nope,
Blake?
he's coming. He's coming right now.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry. Yep.
No,
Yep.
no, that's fine. That's
He is
fine.
just one of
And
those.
so you have a 10-year-old.
Yeah, we've got 19, 17, and 10. So, and yep, keeps us busy.
10 is a fun age.
Do you have any kids?
I have four.
Four. Okay, you got us beat. How old?
Yeah. My youngest is 18.
Oh,
So
wow. Wow.
I'm on the other side.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Although sometimes with our 19-year-old, I feel like he's the 10-year-old. I don't know. It just depends.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that. And by the time he hits 21, that'll all change.
yeah.
And things start to the relationship changes.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
And so our 18-year-old definitely was the most mature at 18.
Wow.
Um, and so yeah, she's on her own. She's been on her own. I mean,
Wow.
she's been traveling the country on her own for the last 2 years.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
impressive.
she's yeah, so our kids are gone.
Yeah, that's
Needless to
crazy.
say.
I mean, the youngest is definitely the most independent, I would say, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, we really look forward to this. I'm reading your book right now,
Oh, thank you.
and enjoying it. And we have, a lot. I don't know how much you know about the practice, but we're hitting our second year, March 1st anniversary, second year anniversary, and learning a lot. They've come from large institutions, and now here we are, independent. And I would say the marketing piece is going to be a very, very important one, because we just don't have what I never appreciated how much we have to push versus when they were at larger institutions, they had everything happened with the
The
in-house, right? Like
infrastructure.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
inside referrals and such. So this is extremely important to us. So we're very
Yeah.
appreciative. Okay,
Yeah.
there he
Yeah.
is.
There he is. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad both of you are here. Let me kind of frame the next 45 to 60 minutes we're going to spend together. It's really set up in three parts. Okay. Um, and there's a lot of interaction back and forth. Okay. The first part, I've got a few questions just to kind of talk through with you guys. And then we're going to do a hands on demo where one of y'all is going to lead and through the system, kind of walk you through and familiarize you with the medical marketing roadmap. And then we'll end with any particular questions or help that you need. And that's kind of the three parts.
Yep.
That's fair?
Yep.
Okay. Fantastic. Really looking forward to this and really looking forward to helping y'all, especially going into your second year, March 1st. That's awesome. Congratulations. Um, but let's start here, though. I want you to think about the last three patients that came into the clinic, and the ones who were genuinely excited to see you and you were excited to see them. Not the last three that you didn't want to see, right? But there's that mutual How did they find you?
Um, let's see, let me think about this. So Google seems to be one.
Okay.
Okay. And let me think. Now you said the last three that
Yeah.
say that to me again.
So the last three patients that you love to see and that
Ah,
they loved you.
got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Um, let me see here. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
do something really quick while I'm doing this. I'm going to
Turn off my video for a second, but I'm listening.
yeah, I'm just gonna take a look at my schedule from yesterday and I can just go through this. That's probably the best way for me to do this. Let's see here. All right. First guy I think was Google. He was great. He's awesome. Um, another guy, another cool guy, was through a concierge primary care provider who sends me a ton of patients. Um, and let's see here. And last one was through wait, let me see. Um, last one was let's see, John Barton, Jack Burton. He's great. Word of mouth. Let me see here for this dude. This guy's super cool. The last guy was I guess word of mouth because it was his wife that I took care of a while back using regenerative medicine, and so he came in looking for it.
Got it.
So yeah, Google, word of mouth, and a concierge medicine doc who's a big fan of ours.
Okay. It's always good to have those big fans.
Yeah, no
Um,
kidding.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so let's talk about that. Let's dive into actually both of those for a moment. And it sounds like at least number one that you're tracking. So that's good. You're asking the question, how did you
Yeah.
find us, the patients,
Yeah,
right?
I do. I do. I make a point, I think, usually to ask that. That's just a natural curiosity. Even though I know objectively it's important,
Hmm.
I just am naturally curious about that.
We've been
Yeah,
tracking
that's
for the last 3 months also in our EMR. So we were able
okay.
to turn on a function that in order to schedule an initial appointment, at least the front desk has to ask. Doesn't mean that she always does. She might put other, but 90% of the time she finds out how they found us.
Gotcha. And by the way, what EMR are you guys using?
ModMed.
All right, great. So speaking of that concierge provider, do you know that he is it a he
Yep.
that he's sending you a referral, or do you find out when they call and the front desk asks?
So sometimes it goes. So sometimes he faxes them. Sometimes Dave will call me. Sometimes he'll send me a text saying, "Can you get this guy in quick?" It's yeah, but I mean, he always sends the referral. It always faxes
Okay.
it over.
Okay. All right. Great. And once he sends the referral, um, well, let me just ask the question this way: What is there anything that you guys do to continue to nurture that relationship?
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's a relationship where I'm playing. Him and I talk on the phone frequently about technology. I play tennis with him on the weekend. So yeah, that's a really good, healthy relationship between us two.
Uh huh. Great. Great. Perfect.
And I believe too that for any referrals, doesn't your note automatically get faxed to them after you see them?
Yeah, there's a function in MonMed. Once you're getting ready to finalize the note, it gives you the option to send correspondence to the provider that referred the patient to you. So we do that every time.
Got it. That's beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. Are you running any paid ads right now?
Go ahead, Melissa. Melissa, you there? She's probably getting the kid on the bus. Okay, so tell you what we're doing. I think so our website is through a company, I'm sure you've heard YPO. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they do, yeah. So our website is through YPO, and they are doing some well they naturally within their package, they do some search engine optimization, which we certainly see that. Our websites tend to be at the top of the organic search results, but then also we are doing some paid, I think, ads with them. I gotta ask Melissa what those are. Give me 1 second, Atiba. Let me just find out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm right here.
Oh, there she is.
So paid ads. Whoop, whoop. Are you there, Blake?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
So
muted,
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. And
but
it's
his
following
camera's trying
him.
to
That's the
follow him.
strangest thing. It's so strange. It's following him. But anyways, uh when we say paid ads, there's a number of
I feel like I'm in Tom and Jerry. I got the dog and the cat like
oh,
running
sorry.
around the
Yeah.
room, and I'm just like, what in the hell? Sorry, Atiba. All right,
Okay.
What you were
it's
doing.
okay.
Anyways, and
Yeah.
my daughter will be in 5 minutes. The bus will be here. So, anyways, so we use keywords. So this is where my confusion lies. We have a lot of keywords like regenerative medicine, orthobiologics, and then they'll
Mhm.
do surgical ones or foot and ankle surgery. That's all I know. I don't know any more specific. We can share with you too over time if you want the reports that we get every month from them, like
Absolutely.
the clicks and the price per click and yada yada, all of that, which again, I need to school myself better on. Um, Something's working, but not fully.
Yeah, and so one of the things that will happen over time within the platform is you'll be able to actually input a lot of that data, and the platform will analyze it and spit back to you and help you understand what's going on.
Great. Okay. We do have
Okay.
since May or April when we started the
Mhm.
Google ads, we do have all that data that I can fill in.
Good.
So can track.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, all right. So imagine for a moment in the last year and a half, your 10 best, most favorite patients. If we put all 10 of them in the room together this Saturday and we kind of left them to their own devices, what conversations do you think they would have? What kind of commonalities do you think that they would find of things that they would talk about?
Tennis, golf, all
I
the
think I yeah yeah probably yeah, but I think as far as they would talk about, I think they would have some positive things to say about us, the amount of time we spend with our patients. So the regenerative patients get the love, you know, a lot more than like a standard orthopedic practice. So I think that's one thing is that there's no one in that room that's going to feel rushed. Okay.
Right.
Um, that's a because that's the only way we get those folks. Like those types of patients that do this do not want to feel rushed about this. They like to feel like they've been answered and they've been heard, they understand their problem. I'll tell you from a negative standpoint, they may talk about the pain they experienced during the procedure itself,
Okay.
but then they also will talk about how good it made them feel later on and that they avoided a surgery. Um, they may talk about, I don't know if they would get this deep. They may not. I don't know if they, but our pricing has changed frequently, as we've gone up on our pricing. So you may have one person in the room that paid one amount, another person that paid a different amount for the same procedure. Um, what else? Uh, I think they probably would talk about commonalities as far as sports. That's Melissa made a good point about that. Um, and I think overall they would talk about how good the experience is within our office. We try to really make that a pleasant experience by the
Okay.
time that they leave. So I think
Yeah,
that's
Okay.
even the
probably
Google reviews, the last three were for Blake, and not that that matters, but my point is, they all had something to do with the time spent. Thinking outside the box was one of them.
Hmm.
Like he provided me with other options, is how I interpreted that, and just kind of that family caring environment, like that they're finally with a provider that takes the time and listens to them, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
a fairly intimate experience in the office. We're on a ground level. We're the only ones in the whole building. It's a small practice where they get to know the front desk person by her first name. There's not a whole laundry list of people, and so it. I think they leave there feeling like they're not just a number. It's pretty easy to feel pretty welcome. You're like, oh, I remember Abby, and I remember so and so, and
Yeah.
Melissa usually comes out quite often, introduces herself. So, um, I think that whole package kind of reflects on us.
That's awesome. And it's awesome that that's some of the stuff that they would share that they had in common in their experience with you, and that you're consistently delivering that. That's great. Um, I am curious too about where Melissa started, about some of the other things outside of your practice that they have in common as well. Things that they do outside of you that maybe they don't even know that each other does, similarities between them.
Well,
And other
definitely.
than golf and tennis, anything else stand out?
Yeah, probably their location where they live. A lot of them come from Daniel Island, which is where we live. Um, that's a definitely a higher socioeconomic area, where there's a lot of folks have a lot of money on Daniel Island coming down from New York and Pennsylvania and New
Yeah.
Jersey, and a lot of them, you know, that's just the way it is. There's a lot of retirees coming in. They probably, I'm certain they probably have commonalities coming down as far as having kids that live down here, and being grandparents. So we get them from the Mount Pleasant area, which is where our office is located. We get them from Daniel Island, which is right up the road, and we get a few that come from out of town
Okay.
that are coming from surrounding areas in South Carolina, and even a few are coming from North Carolina and Georgia.
Hmm.
They're not pouring in, but they're coming in.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, Sticking with the patients here for a moment, is there a specific, and I'm going to use this word, it's kind of a strong word, villain that plagues them? And so um, that could be another doctor in the area. It could be a common ailment. It could be a frustration that they have in some other area of life that's affected by the injury that they have that you're treating. Is there any commonality of
Yeah.
villains?
Yeah, so couple commonalities. Maybe they may talk about their primary care doc. That if they're they may talk about Altenberg. He's a very dynamic personality who's their concierge doc. He's a topic of conversation. They may talk about the experience they had with the regular orthopedists in town, who are good, but 9 times out of 10, if they've seen another practice in town, it's not a regenerative medicine because
Yeah.
we're the only orthopedists that are uh, that are surgeons actually operating that do this. So there's some pain management folks that are doing it. We try to, hinge on that we come at it from a little different perspective in the sense that we know how to do the surgery. So we're familiar with the traditional conservative care. We know what the surgery is. We know how to do the surgery. We can do the surgery, but we also know when it's right to pull the trigger on something like this. So
Right.
they may also be talking about a negative experience they had on the other side. We've had a few patients that come in and
Mm,
say, well, they had a knee replacement, it didn't go so well, or man, it took me a year to get better, or man, I really don't want to go through that again. So they may be talking about some of their experiences that they had having a surgery on the other side. They may be talking about the limited time they got with some of the other orthopedics practices in town. I mean, I was part of that machine, and so was my partner
mhm.
Shane. I know you meet a ton of people, but Shane's my partner. He was at that meeting in Florida as well,
Yes.
and he may talk about. He was at the medical university. I was at Roper. They're both huge hospital systems, and so it's just a machine where they get seen for a short period of time. The hospital systems have no interest whatsoever in regenerative. They do some PRP, but it's crappy PRP, and so they may talk a little bit about. Um, that they didn't get a call back, or they got lost in the shuffle. That's a commonality, difficulty in getting a hold of people and stuff. So um yeah, so
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Um, all right. Switching gears a bit. I'm talking more about you now, and or Shane, depending on which one of you do this. Um, Tell me about what it's like and the kind of physical sensation that you have when
yeah,
you're talking to your patient and you have to bring up the cost. When you have to tell them, this is the plan, here's how much it costs. What's
yeah,
what's happening for you?
yeah. So that's always a challenge. I think I'm since the meeting in Florida, I've tried to get a little bit better about that. I think that, and I still feel this a little bit. There's a little bit of this sense of you feel bad that they're being that you're charging them, what we're charging, because our prices after that meeting in Florida went up significantly. We were charging, I think, yeah, like a lot. We were charging for PRP $1,400 for an injection, and that's gone up now to 2,000. And then the PRP plus, which is a protein concentrate, it's at 2,500. Bone marrow, when we started the practice, was, man, I want to say it was 3 grand, and now that's at 7. And
Hmm.
uh, and bone marrow has gone up to, I'm sorry, and yeah, bone marrow 7, and fat, just because the expense of the kit has gone up to 9.
It's eight,
Um, is
unless
8, I'm sorry,
unless you want it
8.
to nine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 8, that's fine. Yeah, it's gone up to 8. So our prices have gone up. So as far as the conversation goes, um, these days, I'll just tell you where I'm at now with it. I just kind of come out and say it. I try to I try to take Ariana's lead, and then I try to just pause and not immediately provide excuses for why it costs what it costs. I think traditionally my play would be that I'd say, yeah, it costs this much. And the reason it costs this much is because of this. I've kind of gotten a little bit of tried to get away from that. And then I say, yep, this is the cost. And then I just kind of let it hang in the air, if I can, and let them kind of, see who I let them speak first about it. And it seems fine. I've had some grimaces, but it hasn't been terrible. Um, I guess I do find that sometimes when patients go home and process it, I may not hear back from them.
Huh?
There is something to be said about capturing them on the spot, especially with the
Uh-huh.
PRP injections. That tends to
Uh-huh.
be a big win. So I tend to look for that. If I sense that someone's coming in and they want something, like we had a guy this past Friday, big fan of mine who I've done Shockwave and PRP in the past. He uh he came in and I talked about getting an MRI, and finally he's just like, why can't we just do the PRP today? And he was right. He was like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's just do it right now. Um, and so I think when I can capture them on the spot, it tends to be, it just tends to be, we end up scoring there and getting a win for
Yeah.
them and for us.
Yeah.
So I can't do that with bone marrow or MFAT because it's a procedure that requires scheduling. So they definitely have to go and process those. But the PRPs, I do like to try and capture that because we can do them on the spot. They're quick. They're just, a gal can do a blood draw, and we can get it done, um, as opposed to going home. But we do have literature that we provide them, when they leave. as far as thinking about it. Um, so yeah, so that's probably where we're at. Is we'll offer them care credit. We won't offer that. We have it. So they'll if they ask, do you
Just
have a
started offering
yeah.
it, like having it, yeah. Now,
This is I'm gonna go off script for a second. 1 second, Melissa, if you don't mind.
mhm,
Off script for just a second.
sure.
Um, Let me ask you a question. How often have you had to in your life go home and think about something and you made a different decision than you knew you were going to make anyway? Probably not too often. Usually we know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Usually we know what we're going to do. And so the question, and you can take this to Ariana. I mean, I'm more than happy to help you figure this out too. But this is more on Ariana's wheelhouse. Um, is how do we stop the let me go home and think about it? Is it a
Mm,
deposit today? Is it a refundable deposit today? Because
mm.
they've already made the decision. They've already made the decision. So
Yeah,
just
so
some
we've gone down on that. So initially, we made the mistake of requesting a deposit of half the cost of procedure, and we finally came to the conclusion that that's not tenable. If someone's going to
yeah,
invest, 7 grand, they're just not going to want to put down 3,500 if they're
no,
not complete. So, but we have done 500. We think that's a more reasonable approach. We haven't done it refundable, although we have refunded a couple, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so we certainly could do that.
yeah,
But I will tell you, it hasn't been an active part of the discussion. I don't know if that comes from me. I mean, Ariana seems to think that the provider, which I'm in agreement with, the provider should be the one that discusses the pricing with the patient. And as much as I don't like doing it, I'm okay with it. Like I do agree with her that it's like getting pushed off the car lot to the finance guy, after you've
it
spent all this
is.
time. Um,
It is.
so I'm
Um,
fine. I'm fine with actually doing that.
okay, so rule of thumb is 10% is your deposit amount.
Okay.
Okay. Don't go over 10%.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to do the 500 on a 7,000, you can, but don't go over 700. Just rule of thumb.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, the refundable, you can obviously there are tons of ways you can word and play with what is refundable. Is it refundable forever? Is it refundable within a certain period of time? Um, it is probably the which way I would go is say, hey, listen, obviously you want to do this, and we're booking up, and we want to get you in. So here's what we do today. Just let's put down a deposit. It's completely refundable within the next 30 days if you change your mind or
Hmm.
whatever
Okay.
period of time that you choose. Okay. I wouldn't go much longer than 30 days though, because you want to get them back in and have the procedure. And so then the whole next thing is they've already put down the deposit. So they're the client. They've already said yes. So if someone said yes, what would you do next with them? You would schedule an appointment to do the procedure,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so they put down the deposit and on their way out, go ahead and schedule when you're going to come back,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That will dramatically raise your close rates.
Okay.
I'm trying to think in my head scenarios where we've missed people, and I'm not always up in the front, but I know, like, remember that kid that wanted to do BMAC? The mom's like, oh, let me head home. I mean, she actually called back, but they downgraded to PRP, which is fine. Did they even schedule?
I think in January
Oh,
he had a
okay.
steroid shot, so
Oh,
he
that's
he
right.
had to
He
have
had to
a he had to
push
have
it
a
out. Okay.
washout
So, I
period, but
mean,
he is scheduled to do a PRP plus, I think.
Okay. The best ones I will say are the ones that right then and there they come in. We had two on a Friday afternoon within an hour of each other one day. That was just fantastic because you also don't give people time to think, because they
Hmm.
worry more about the pain and then all they do is talk about
Hmm.
how painful it is.
Hmm.
So, you know, I don't know. Maybe we should push even more like, hey, I have time to do it today. I don't know. The other thing
Yeah.
Atiba, that we're going to change is per Ariana's guidance, which makes sense, is anybody that requests specifically regenerative medicine now gets a 45-minute consult for $350 with the guys because, we get what, 120 at best, maybe for the hour that they end up spending
Right.
trying to talk to
Well,
them from insurance. So,
right. So I had a patient like last week. A guy came in. I mean, he came from Kiwa Island. You could tell he's very financially set. I think he's a builder. He's a home builder, and talking about the golf course and that he's slowing down as far as retiring. But you could just tell the guy is very financially set. It wasn't difficult to draw that conclusion. And so he had had a fall and was asking about stem cells. So we were talking about it, and the guy wanted to know regulatory issues regarding placental derived
Hmm.
tissue and some of this stuff the FDA said we can't do. So he had a lot of questions. I probably spent I probably spent 45 minutes with that dude going through everything that I can tell you that I'm uniquely qualified compared to a regular orthopedist in town to talk about all this stuff. And in the end of it, it was, um, we said we got to get an MRI, and then he's going to think about it, and then that's it. But so he hasn't scheduled, but I spent a boatload of time with that dude, and I need to have some compensation for that. I mean, and that's a guy that could easily have that was a one that for sure should have been a 350 consultation fee for talking about regenerative medicine. So we talked with Ariana about this, and she said, yeah, if there's someone that's calling up asking for stem cells and they want information about that, and that's the purpose of their visit, then that needs to be uh, a 350 consultation fee that's charged cash and not billed through their insurance. Just because we're getting stuff that's outside of what Medicare covers and allows, because a lot of those patients are at that age where they're under Medicare, and we're going to be talking about things are that are quite removed from what standard Medicare covers, hip replacements, knee replacements, and so forth. So, but she said if someone comes in and they just have knee pain and they don't know what they want and they're not coming in saying, I'm looking for regenerative medicine, but we get on that topic, then that's probably an insurance-based visit.
Okay. What did he call up and say he wants to talk stem cells, or was he?
Yep, you sure did.
he did, and
Okay.
it's our front desk girl. I said, listen, schedule him with Dr. Olson because he had asked for him, and I said, he'll talk. I guess he was asking questions about should I go to Mexico? Was it Mexico or something for it or something,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, he was asking about
But
going to Panama or something like
I've given
that.
her the scenario that if someone asks specifically either through our online portal or, in calls for that, it's $350 for
Yeah.
a consultation. 45 minutes, she can highlight it's 45 minutes you spend with the provider. Um, yeah, I don't know. And in those instances, I don't know. We're still, Atiba, so we're not maxed out in capacity, so we're taking everything we can. But let me give you an example though of just how significant um, Blake had just how significant we realize now. I don't we've always known, but we've realized how less time can be spent in office and more revenue
Mm.
generated. He was only in office due to travel. We had to take one kid for travel for college, and then there was Thanksgiving and yada yada. And we don't have the final numbers for November, but it was his best month ever for regenerative. And he worked 10 days in office. 10 days. And so that tells you right there, but we still have the mentality beggars can't be choosers, right? Like, we're still not there yet
But you're
in
not
terms
beggars.
of
So Tiva, I think it'd be helpful just to give you a little brief understanding of where we're at. So as we transition to our this full practice. All right. I think Shane has finally come to the conclusion. It's taken him a lot longer to realize that having a purely surgical practice alone in private practice ain't going to keep the doors open. Just with the reimbursements are so bad here in town. So we've come to realize that we just can't keep up with the hospitals. Regenerative is where it's at. That's the sole
Hmm.
reason we're involved in this. Shane is still doing locum tenens, all right, up in New York.
Mm.
All right, so he's gone sometimes for 10 days at a time, quite a bit of time. Me, I'm doing utilization management a couple days a week. However, a patient's only within a day or two of seeing me if they need to see me and get in. So we can get in patients, if they need to be seen, it's not a problem. I am still taking some trauma call, but my clinic still has plenty of availability to get patients in. I think one of the
Mhm.
biggest things we want the regenerative practice to grow to the point where it allows us to continue to do surgery when we want to do surgery. Okay, so we want the regenerative medicine to essentially drive everything else. The biggest thing we're trying to figure out is what is at this point, and Melissa, what was my revenue for regenerative medicine for November?
Regenerative was about 23.5 or 24. And that was all PRPs, one BMAC. Usually he has more BMAC, but just not this past month.
So the
Okay.
question is what's the biggest bang for the buck as far as our marketing goes? What time exerted, at this level of at this stage of our growth, where's my time best spent as far as and where's my dollars best spent in trying to attract patients? Because I do think that when I get them in the door, I and talk about this stuff, my conversion rate's not bad. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think I'm excited about it, and I think I get the patients excited about it.
Yeah.
And so I think I have a pretty decent ability at doing that. Shane is still, I think, catching up with that, his level of comfort doing that. Me, on the other hand, Shane hasn't done any bone marrow yet, and he hasn't done any MFAT. He's been doing more PRP after the Florida meeting. Me, on the other hand, I've been doing MFAT and bone marrow for, going on 2 years. And we also have been involved with clinical trials with the LipoGem study, the MFAT. I was the principal
Hmm.
investigator for
Yep.
Charleston. So we're heavily involved in that. And I'm currently we use a company called Selling that they're a competitor of Apex. They have the protein concentrate and they're a high level, highly regarded PRP. And I
Okay.
also work with them on developing a radio frequency device. And so I'm working with them on we have a financial agreement together. So we're just trying to understand like what's the best way to get paid? Because once I get them in the door to talk about this, I'm usually pretty confident that I can, you know, get them excited about this and explain why I think this is a better investment than going down the traditional surgery route. But we're just
Yeah.
we're a little bit spinning our wheels. Is it, because I remember you saying, yeah, stay away from podcasts. You're just not at that point. So, and of course, I've done a podcast in the past and saw absolutely not a single patient from it. So that was a utter waste of time.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Yeah.
Right. So we're trying to figure out where's our money best spent. Is it grassroots with, a magazine ad, a couple of local rags? Is it Google ads? Um, is it giving webinars to patients? Is it gathering an email list from our old patients and sending out correspondence to them? What should we be doing?
A really great question. You want the simple answer?
I want the simple and I want the detailed answer.
Yeah. Here's simple first.
So your simple answer is this: you need to play more golf, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he doesn't do.
Seriously, you need
I
to
mean, I
play more
used to play. I
golf.
used to play. I did. I used to play.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. You said two really big things to me. One, you get a ton of referrals from a provider who you're friends with and you play golf with.
Tennis,
Two,
tennis, tennis,
oh, sorry,
tennis.
tennis. You play tennis
Yeah.
with. So no. So let me change what I said. You need to play more tennis.
Okay. Got it.
And two, Melissa said, a couple of things that they would talk about outside of your practice are golf and tennis. So your patients are on the tennis court and your referral providers are on the tennis court.
Yeah. No, and I just
The
got asked to play in a league, and I gave the excuse. I'll get back to you. Yeah, you're right. I should be doing that. Mm-mm-mm.
I
the
guess I do
biggest
too.
bang
That's a good excuse for me to get back on the court.
it is. The biggest bang for your buck is not in Google Ads. It's not in SEO. It's not in newspaper magazines. It's not in any of those places.
Okay.
Now, am I telling you that those places are bad? No, that's not what I'm saying. But you asked for what's your biggest bang for your buck. Listening to everything that you've told me of what has worked over the last year and a half,
Yeah.
that is the intersection.
Hmm.
Okay. Is creating those provider relationships, building those relationships. And for those that love to play tennis, go play tennis with them. Get them out there. And that's where your patients are too. You
Yeah,
got
you're right. Yeah, that's a
you
good point.
you
How about
got the
yeah.
trifecta there. Go
How about
ahead.
also we live on a golf course in a very
Mhm.
prestigious country club, and I, we could easily hit up the the club and say, "Hey, we'd like to give a talk." Is that worthwhile to like the golfers and such, or is that kind of a waste of time?
Depends.
There's so many golfers. There's so much. I mean, I don't know.
It depends.
Okay.
And um, your angle has to be right and their need has to be right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go in and talk about regenerative medicine,
Okay.
right? I know you live on the golf course, which is why it will come up. It'll be way better in the tennis club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are US. So we also, which is a good topic of conversation. Shane is the medical director for the WTA, the Women's Tennis Association. I mean, he's actually the director, the medical director. So and I'm a WTA and ATP physician. So we do cover the tournaments from time to time as well. So we are heavily invested in tennis community. But for you, I think just with how busy things have been, I've overlooked that's a good source, but you're right. I should be more invested in that culture. And I was extremely invested in it, but not for the same reason. And I should be. You're right.
Yes. Um, so that's a really simple answer.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fine. It's such an abstract idea because but you're right. It does, it's like
He's in a tournament this weekend, so that'll be the first.
I am first term I've done in
Oh
years.
yeah. You know, the other thing is Synchronicity, Blake, which is attached to the other tennis club. Atiba, there's also like, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about. I know we have not even 10 minutes or whatever left, but we're in an interesting area where there's a lot of retirees, a lot of very wealthy people have moved from the upper northeast coast, New
Yeah.
York, Connecticut, and everything, and moved down here. And there's an area called Kiowa that he was talking about. A guy traveled, and there's so many things we need to think about. Is if do we do a pop-up consultation once a month near these areas so that he can get patients? But I just don't know how they're going to know or hear or be able to be there on the day that he's there. But there's
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily. So
we're jumping ahead, I'm sure, but
no. You're perfectly fine. I would not take this on head on
mhm. Okay.
in that until somebody tells me that they're in pain, I'm not going to tell them I have a solution.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
However, is there something that they are in pain or curious about that I may know about that has nothing to do with what I do? So, for example, and I don't know this, obviously, Blake. Maybe you have a wicked backhand.
Wish.
Maybe your serve is just amazing. And so maybe you do a seminar on your backhand.
Okay.
Has nothing to do, obviously, with your practice, but everybody gets to know that you do have this practice. And as you're talking about whatever it is you're talking about, whatever you're sharing, could you work in something that about a pain and somebody did this? If you do this wrong, you're gonna do this to your elbow, and then you're gonna need PRP. You have to come see me for that. Of course you could, right? But the key there is finding something that they are interested in that they're going to want to listen to you talk about, right? There was somebody else that we helped some time ago, and the thing, he was a big muscle building guy, right? And he was an MMA fighter. He was a doctor who was who used to fight MMA, and so it was like, okay, so you're going to go into the gym and you're going to do seminars on recovery because everyone has to recover after a fight.
Mhm.
Okay, has nothing to do with PRP, but they all want to hear about that. And as they're telling you about that, they'll also tell you about their injury.
Got it.
And that is in person better than doing a series on
Oh,
Instagram.
heck yeah.
Okay, because everybody keeps pushing us, telling, everybody meaning like some outside, oh, that you got to do reels, you got to do this and that. I find it to be such a time suck and not really, um, no one has said, oh, I saw you on Instagram. That's why we called you.
Yeah.
So we
So,
should we be doing social media? And we are doing
yes,
testimonials. We have been doing that.
yes,
Testimonials
you
twice
have
a
to
week.
do social media. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to do social media from the point of view of this. Okay.
Okay.
And I tell you that because I've run social media for orthopedics, orthopedic surgeons and PRP for the last 5 years. You
Mhm.
have to do it
Okay.
because what it does for your patients is proof of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
many of your colleagues are no longer in business?
Mm.
Coming out of the pandemic, people are very skeptical. Are you still real? Are you still relevant?
Mm. Okay. But
Okay.
keep it simple, in other words, like it just doing the testimonials and such, or
Yeah,
So,
I was doing some
yes,
real simple videos that I actually they're kind of fun. You know, they're just done in our waiting room where I literally have the gal behind the camera ask me a question. You know, like,
yes,
is there a
perfect.
difference? Okay, all right, good, good.
Okay. So, the advice that we give to everyone at your stage is the only thing you should be doing on social media right now is testimonials.
okay.
Like, you don't need to spend time doing a whole lot of other stuff. You don't
Okay.
need to spend time hiring an agency like mine to go create content for you.
Okay.
There's no need for that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
That's good to
All right.
know. Because I'm the
Okay.
content person, just adding the testimonials here and there. And I do it twice a week, every Monday, Friday, and then Wednesday I usually do a tip or one of his videos or one of Shane's
Yeah.
videos, that sort of thing. But just three
Yeah.
times a week. Is there a magic number that we should be following for testimonial?
Consistency.
Okay. We're doing that. Okay.
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 If the On every single platform, the thing that the platform cares about is consistency. So
Okay.
if you can do once a week, do once a week. If you can do 3 times a week, do 3 times a week. But don't do three this week and four next week and two the week after. That's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
consistent.
Okay. Okay. That's easy to do.
Okay. We
Okay.
must stay consistent.
Okay.
Okay. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yep.
Yes.
It does.
Okay. All right. We got about 10 minutes left.
Mhm.
And I do want to take you into the platform for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So which one of you wants to share screen?
I can.
Okay. And you have a login, right? Did you create your login?
I did.
You
Okay.
better share screen just to be safe. And I'm not sure if,
For the roadmap, you mean?
Yes. So app.medicalmarketingroadmap.com.
Let me see if I can get on it. Can you give me a second?
Sure.
yeah, I think I can. Hold on.
And you asked great questions today, by the way. And this is also to why I do the 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m.
Mhm.
Eastern, the
Okay.
AI and marketing call for
Oh, yeah.
any questions that you have. Here to answer your questions.
Thank you. We'll do that. What is the link again? Go ahead and medical.
Okay,
App.
I'm
Oh,
on. So let
Okay.
me just
Atiba, what time is this for you?
It is 8:52 p.m.
Wow. Okay. We're starting our day, you're ending your day.
No,
You
no,
work
because
throughout the night? Is that how you do it?
so I've got you. So I had a 5 o'clock my time. Then I've got you guys. Then I have two podcasts tonight,
Jeez. Okay.
and so I will be done at midnight my time.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah,
Tough.
it's kind of the beauty of living on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I do.
Is that it?
This is it. Okay. So, welcome to the medical marketing roadmap. I want to kind of just walk you through a couple things real quick. So, number one, this is your dashboard. Okay.
Mhm.
And your dashboard starts at the very top of what you need to do right now, a nice big blue. Um, the dashboard right now is still a work in progress. We're going to be adding more and more and more stuff to the dashboard. It's pretty vanilla right now. Okay. Where you're actually going to spend most of your time is if you scroll to the top for me, Blake, and go to the sprint menu. Okay, so the way everything works is we create sprints. And a sprint is a 90-day block. And we run the 90-day blocks with the calendar year. Okay, so right now we're in the fourth quarter sprint. Okay, and January 1, we'll start a new sprint. And the idea here is we're setting goals for what we're going to get done in this 90 days. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
That's kind of how I think about things and how we build things. Okay.
Okay.
And also want to never have you feel like you're overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. And we try to keep it nice and tight in that 90-day window. Okay. So if you scroll here again, you'll still see the where to get started, what you got to do now. But if you scroll down a little bit for me on here, we'll see it says there are 28 days left on the sprint. You see your overall progress so far. And you can click on get and start here for the defined bleeding neck. Okay. So, and this will get to work in just a few moments as well. But the way our system works is it's very simple. This is human directed, AI generated content. So what that means is that you already started with the ideal customer profile, and as you start to do any of these activities, most of them start with an intake, and that intake will ask you a bunch of questions, and based on those questions, the AI is going to go off and generate some content. In
Mm.
this case, your bleeding neck analysis, and then it will come back and give you that bleeding neck analysis for you to review. Okay. So
Okay.
human input, AI does its thing, it generates, and then it lets you review and make any edits that you want. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. If you could scroll back up for me here and hit back to sprint. And so when you start a sprint, there'll always be three activities in a sprint, never more than three. Now, if you get through all three activities in the 90 days and there's still time left in the 90 days, then the system will automatically add a fourth activity. If you
Okay.
Okay.
finish that one, it'll add a fifth. So it just keeps up with you as you go. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Um, Couple other things to show you on here. If you're looking under the blue box where it says start working on this now, it says current sprint, then KPI entry. Okay.
Okay.
So Melissa, as you go in the system, this KPI entry screen will become one of the places that you like because those reports that you're getting, this is
Mm-hmm.
where you'll be able to start to put in some of that data and the system will start to analyze it for you.
Great. Great.
Okay. All right. Um, that will come about after you've done about the fifth activity in the system. After we've built some of the foundational stuff, then we can start adding some more of the KPIs.
Okay.
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 Um, The last thing I'm going to show you on this screen, if you can click on clinic documents over there for me, Blake, I'd appreciate. Okay, so under clinic documents, this here is your document repository. So as you work within the system's going to produce documents for you, like your ideal customer profile, your bleeding neck. We'll even at which you guys have now, so which is great. It will ask you what your packages are. It will do some work and even make suggestions on how you can tailor your packages.
Oh,
Even
wow.
that will end up here. Okay.
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 Anything the system produces for you ends up in your document repository so that you can always go back and get it. Now, where that's important is, let's say you decide, I don't like these guys who are running my ads. I want to go hire someone else. Well, when you go hire someone else, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Who's your ideal customer? Who's this? Who's that? And all this stuff. You've got all the answers right here in your document repository.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And that's the entire purpose of what we're doing here. Okay. Because ultimately, what we want to make sure is that if and when you do hire an agency to do anything for you, you have everything that they need in order to be successful. And if they're not successful, you know why. It wasn't you, it's them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That
for
makes
right now,
sense?
from a budget standpoint, we've decided to invest our money in this venture, the business of
Yes.
orthobiologics. So we're going to hold off on any major agencies or any of that stuff right now. We don't think
Which
we're
you
at a point.
should.
Yeah, right.
Which you should.
Right.
One of the things that we're actively working on right now to build into this, which I think you guys would greatly appreciate, is actually a testimonial manager
Mm.
where you can take the video that you created, upload it, and it will actually help you create additional social posts out of it that you can then go post.
Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the system's going to do a lot for you. And as you grow, you'll eventually want to hire other agencies and it will have everything that you need. But in the meantime, we're going to do a lot for you.
Okay.
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 You already have just with this hour, so we appreciate it.
We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah. This is great.
All right.
Well, we
Okay.
at least know what we need to do on the medical marketing roadmap and get going on some of that so we can,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, this is a platform that we've built. It's a software application. Let me be honest, it has issues. When you run into an issue, we want to know about it so we can fix it because we haven't caught them all.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just being completely honest. So the last thing I'll show you is if you can see, and I'm pointing to the screen like y'all can see me pointing. That was real good, Atiba. Yeah, right over here,
Mhm.
down in the bottom right, there's a little like question mark. You see that there,
Yep.
Blake? Okay, if
Yep.
you click on that, okay. So number one, there are a bunch of walkthrough tutorials that will actually walk you through every section of the app so far. But then at the very bottom is report a bug.
Mm.
And so if you do see something, say something.
Mhm.
Okay. We would greatly appreciate that so we can fix it for everyone as we go. And I can tell you it's an incredibly detailed and robust platform, but that also means that there are nuances that sometimes break.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, my friends.
All right.
And we'll
Thank you.
get started on this. What's next? Like as we move forward, we'll do this first step, but do we meet or talk again, or what's the next deal with this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And so that's one of the things that we have to kind of figure out. I'm leery because I know Colin and Ariana need a lot of your time to add more to your schedule. And so that's also why I do the aim calls to see who's going to show up and who asks questions to see, do we need more time? Right.
We can conquer some of the things we talked about today. Just as we move forward, I just want to know like where our time's best spent. The things that we brought up today are fairly tangible. Melissa and I can work on those. That's fine. But we
Yeah.
want to just, as we kind of move forward, know like, okay, now that we've done this, now that I've joined the tennis club, now that I'm speaking with folks, and where do I go? What's the next thing? What's the next on the list?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think one of the things that I hope we will be able to do is start doing a monthly call where we bring
Okay,
everybody together and start having these conversations.
right.
Right. Um, Likewise, the system's going to help you with some of that stuff too.
Okay.
Okay. Um, the big reason why I asked you all those questions up front, one, I wanted to know, but two, because it helps us make our onboarding process better. Because where this app is going is that the onboarding process, that diagnostic questionnaire that you did up front, we're going to
Mm.
keep making that better. And then the app actually will morph and change the sprints based on your particular situation.
Mhm.
We're
Okay.
not there
Okay.
today, but that's where we're going.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Right. So,
right.
like in your case, it would have put up the activities to help you figure out how to work in the tennis club.
Got it.
Okay. So
Yep.
we'll schedule a meeting in January for everyone again to
Okay.
come together and we'll keep talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank
Right.
you. Appreciate you very
So
much.
you're welcome. It's my pleasure, guys.
All right. Happy holidays.
Yes, if I don't see you before, happy holidays. Y'all be safe. Enjoy each other. Enjoy the kids.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, T-Bot. Be well, man.
All
You
right. Take
too.
care.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.